Hello everyone, hope I'm live in the right spot, and I hope that wasn't too confusing and you got the notification of where I was going live, because it was the first time I've done events so that you guys had a bit of notification that I was going live, and hopefully the comments are going to play kind today. I just wanted you guys to have a bit of notice that I would be on here. Hello Mayaswari. So I've kicked my hubby off the TV because he was playing video games in the background. So I'm sure you didn't want Star Wars in the background. Don't mind my washing, I have to fold, mum life. Okie doke. So hopefully I can see the comments. So really exciting. Thank you guys for all your support and your comments on my video. Hello Joy, on Monday. So if you didn't see my video, you can go back and watch that on my page, or I've put it on my YouTube channel. So they're all, you can find all those links on my page. We created, which should be hanging around here somewhere, on Monday we created this fun card with the Basket of Blooms stamp set. Hello Angela. Something just fell out of that card. I'm sure it was just a scrap. So we created this fun card on Monday, and I showed how to watercolor with the ink pads and the water painters. So we did that fun card, and then I spoke to you guys a bit about the new thing that I'm going to be doing, where I've got cards everywhere happening, where I'm going to be doing 3 live videos a week. So there's going to be Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays. And I'm going to kind of focus on one thing per week. So this week I'm focusing on the lovely Basket of Blooms stamp set, which is, I know this is backwards, but it will be fine when we turn it around, and the Walk in the Woods stamp set. So the reason I've got 2 stamp sets this week is because this one has no sentiments. So I had to bring in some sentiments from somewhere, and I just love these gorgeous sentiments. I happened to get both of these stamp sets in the great sale, the stamp sale that we had. So I got these 2 new stamp sets. They were brand new, sitting on my desk, and I thought, you know what? To start this off, I think I might pick 2 of these, and so I've got those now. Hello Kylie, I promised to ring you after this. So I've got those 2 stamp sets, and I've already planned next week's videos. I will be having some pre-recorded videos in the late-ish October for that week, because I'll actually be away. It's my first wedding anniversary, and we're going away to Hobart and doing some bits and bobs. So I'll do pre-recorded videos for that week, and we'll still have the same thing, but I'll give you a sneak peek. Can you hear? Can you guess? This is a sneak peek, I'll show it this way, of what will be featured in next week's video. So I'll be doing 3 cards again, using the same kind of thing with a stamp set featured. So the point of this new thing I'm doing is that, one, I'll be on here a lot more frequently doing live videos and blogging again. Now I'm getting back into it, and things are starting to settle down. And also a new customer initiative as well, where I know that when I create cards, oh hello Alison, or Ali, we were chatting about you yesterday, Jodie was here. And anyway, all good things, I promise. So I'm losing what I'm talking about. So I know that when I create cards, I tend to chuck the whole craft room on them, and I have lots of bits and bobs, lots of different embellishments. This is the card we're going to make today, this one here. So what I thought I would do for my lovely customers and followers is that if you order within the week that I feature, hello Donna, hey Jodie, if you order in the week that I am featuring these cards, and spend over $30 or more with the host code that I've posted in the description, you will actually receive all the make and take packets, all 3 of these, for free from me with a handmade card. Hello Jacqueline. So yeah, you'll get all of those free, and if you order over $50 or more with the host code, you will also get my monthly special, which this month is some Rainbow Glimmer Paper. This has got 2 sheets in it, and it's so gorgeous. Jodie was here crafting yesterday, and she cut some wings out of this, and it was so pretty. So you'll definitely want that. That's valued at $10.50. So you spend $50 in my store, and you get the $10.50 Glimmer Paper, plus you get the 3 make and takes, plus you also get the Stampin' Society October tutorial. Hello Adele, and hello Kayleen. And so there's lots of freebies to be had, and I want to give back to you guys for supporting me and watching my videos. So yes, that's the goal. So Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, and generally they'll be at 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. So about an hour-ish, depending on how quickly I can get through and how intense the cards can be, because sometimes I go a bit over the top. But I want to show you how I make these fun cards and creations, and show you lots of different uses for our fun products. So if at any time you want, if you're new to Stampin' Up, that's okay. I've got lots of resources I can give you, and if you need a catalogue, always let me know, because I can get one of those to you as well. Or if you want to host an online party, I generally do online parties because, you know, the world of COVID and things changing and whatnot. I can do in-person parties if you're local to me on the northwest coast of Tasmania. But if you want to host a party, let me know and I can do that for you and get you some hostess goodies and free goods. I'm doing one coming up very soon, actually, so that will be a lot of fun. Okay, so I've got names all over my grid paper. I was drawing winners on my team. Hello, Anita. I was drawing winners for my team that won lots of goodies yesterday, so I was writing names down, so I'll just turn that over. Okie doke, so I'm going to flip the camera. Hello, Paula. I'm going to flip the camera around, and so you can see my desk, so that you can see how I have created today's card. And we've got a bit more watercolouring today, but also some more heat embossing, which I guess those that know my crafting style will know that I heat emboss everything. I love a good heat embossing session. I've got... trying to get a post-it note off. Hello, Narelle. Hello, Kylie. I'm trying to turn my camera around. So I would love you guys to share this video if you can, and let's get the word out there and have some more crafty fun. It's always much appreciated. Rightio. Hopefully, I know when I put the post-it note over the top, don't mind my coffee. Look, one of my favourite things is V-dubs, and I've got my wedding cards were V-dubs. I've got a V-dub combi mug. So I'm hoping that that is looking okay, and I can see comments. It's always, what I see on my phone is different to what I see on my computer screen sometimes. So hopefully that's all right. It's a little bit crooked. I'm too fussy. I need to learn to just let it be. Okay, so today we're going to make this card. So as I showed you in the beginning of the video on Monday, and you can watch that back on my Facebook page or my YouTube channel, I made this card with some mint macaron. All the cards also feature the Forever Greenery Designer Series paper, which is actually on special this month. You can get the whole pack for, instead of $20, it's down to $17, so it's 15% off. But I have cut in all the make and take packs. The DSP that you'll need for each card is cut and included in those packs. So not to worry, but I would definitely grab yourself some more of that because it's gorgeous paper. And this is the card we'll be making on Friday. So let's get crafting. I am going to this is my sample. I'm just going to put that to the side. I'm glad you're excited to see, Andrea. I'm excited to share with you. So I've got all my little bits and pieces. Now, generally, I won't talk measurements in a video because it can get a bit confusing. Hello, Irene, Glenda, and Teresa. It can get a bit confusing with all the different measurements, but I'll give you some basics. I'm just going to pop my embellishments to the sides. We're using I always muck these ones up. I think it's Playing with Patterns Resin Dots. They're really cool. They're like flat, but they're like, have a funny puffy texture. They're really fun. And then I've got some of the Flowers for Every Season ribbon from the ribbon combo pack and some linen thread. And I also have one of the square vellum doilies. And this bit's just got some bits that need popping out, but we'll do that in just a minute. And then you'll need, I've just got an envelope, but you don't need that right now. I've got a Coastal Cabana card base, and I've got a top folding card, which is generally my go-to, but next week, don't worry, I've featured some different stuff, so I'm mixing it up. And then my layers for this one for the inside is a basic black piece. I need to change my trimmer blade. A basic black piece, which is my usual measurements for this is 9.9 by 14.3. And then I've got 9.7 by 14.1 for my Whisper white piece, and that's for my inside. I generally always do 2 layers, and that's my general layers for a normal card for myself. This one is 9.9 by 14.3 as per usual, and the smaller piece, which is the Flowers for Every Season DSP, is cut to 9.7 by 14.1. Then I have a scrap of our Fluid 100 watercolour paper, and that will be just to do some little flowers on. And then I also have a scrap of the Early Espresso, which we're going to stamp our basket on. And then I have a scrap of Basic Black just to heat emboss our sentiment, and also a scrap of the Flowers for Every Season DSP, which is 3/4 of an inch, whatever that is in centimetres. I'm not 100% sure. I can probably check for you. It's about 2 centimetres, and that is by 14.1. So I actually remembered all those measurements off the top of my head. Goodness knows how. Okay, so let's get started. What I can do first is basically assemble the bases so I can get rid of all the scraps and not worry about losing them. So I'm going to grab my Stampin' Seal, and this is just the original Stampin' Seal, and I'm going to adhere my piece of Flowers for Every Season DSP down to my piece of black, because that can go onto my background. And then I'm actually going to adhere that to my background with some Stampin' Dimensionals. So I'll just grab, I'm down to the wire on these, but don't forget to always use your edges. Don't let these go to waste, because they're perfectly fine to use. So I'm just going to stick my edges onto my card, whoops, to raise it up. May as well use that last little bit. Don't you love the feeling when a sheet of dimensionals is used? I love it. It makes me go, you have been card making lots. Good on you. I have actually been card making a bit. I did started the cards for next week yesterday. And I had a craft session with my good friend Jodie, who's on here. And then I'm crafting again on the weekend with Jodie and another friend Nikki. So that'll be fun. Okay, so the reason if I'm bulk making cards, or if I'm planning out like a card that I already know the design of, I'll generally try and stick and assemble whenever I have the pieces cut. That way I don't lose stuff, because I'm terrible at that. Right, so what I might do before I forget is I'm going to add some Wink of Stella to my background. Love Wink of Stella, but I'm sure I say that every time. Now the inside, which I might quickly stick, actually no, I won't quickly stick, I'll wait for that bit. I can stick it down though. Look at me debating with myself. Oh, if this happens to your Stampin' Seal, don't worry, just peel back a little bit and then push the roll along. It can get a bit gummed up sometimes. You just need to get that restarted, and then the reason that happened was because I didn't tilt it back and tick off. That's what you really need to make sure that you do with this new Stampin' Seal. So just give it a good check mark off there. So I'll stick that down, and then I did miss a step, but that's okay. I'll stick this down. Normally I would put my linen thread for the inside of the card just around the white piece and then adhere to the black, but I did miss that step, but that's okay. Always on videos, you rush and you don't think these things through, so that's okay. What we'll do is we'll just adhere it round to the black. It will just look slightly different to the original, but not by much. In fact, if I didn't tell you, you probably wouldn't even notice, so it's all good. So all these pieces, including the linen thread, are included in your kit. So you don't have to worry about rushing out to buy all these bits and bobs. You probably just need the stamp set, because I can't include stamped images. So that's the one thing that I do recommend purchasing if you want to complete the cards exactly how I have them on my videos, is that you'll just need the stamp set or a rough equivalent. So something that's going to work well, that's similar. So I'll just stick my inside in to the card, and then there's one more thing to go on the inside, but we'll finish that in just a tick. So I've got that there and ready. So now the next bit we need is our Fluid 100 our early espresso and our basic black, because we're going to do some heat embossing. So basically what we need is this little image here. So it's this one just here is what we're going to need for, I just realized I forgot a piece, but that's okay. And we need our little flower image, which is this one here, and that's for our watercolor. And then we also need our basket. And then that's from this one. And then for the sentiment, we need from the Walk in the Woods, wishing you every kind of wonderful. So I will just get that out as well. Now I'm going to use my embossing buddy. Oops. This might be from the Monday video. You might remember this. I've got it on my desk and it's coming everywhere. So I'm just going to go over these pieces with a little bit of embossing buddy. However, if you don't have one of these because we don't sell them anymore, you can just as easily use some baby powder, or you don't have to use it at all. That's completely fine. Okay, so what I did forget to get out was a bit of scrap Whisper White. Now I'm trying to fudge around finding some, because we just need to stamp 3 of these. Okay, so do comment along and chat with me. I can chat to you while I'm crafting. So I'm going to mount this one on this block, and to get that one out of the way, I'm just going to stamp that in some Memento Black. And we'll just need 3 of those. So I'm just going to stamp them like that to get the best use out of the paper. So I don't need the Memento Black anymore, but I will need the Versamark. And what I'll do is mount our sentiment on a block, and then I'm going to stamp that in some Versamark, because we're going to heat emboss this in white. Now what I will do so that we don't, so it doesn't go dry, is I'm going to add the powder, but then I will heat emboss them all at the same time. So I'm just going to sprinkle the powder on, give it a tap, and then I like to give it a bit of a flick at the back to remove any excess powder as well. Just make sure that you don't bump it. And then I'm going to mount the basket, and then I'll be able to heat emboss that also, which I'm going to do in white as well. So I like to hold it down for a couple of seconds. Oh, hello Jacqueline, what time is it in Michigan? And I have lots of videos. I'd love you to catch up on them. They're all on my YouTube, however you can see them all on my Facebook page as well. So I'll give that a tap again. So that one's ready to go. And then I will mount this little fun guy on a very small block. So this is our smallest block, which is an A. And then I think I've got 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's about 10. So about 10 times. Now because this is fluid 100 watercolor paper, I do like to hold that down for a couple extra seconds, because it is quite a thick and bumpy paper, so I really want that ink to transfer to the paper. So I'm just going to hold it down probably a little bit longer than I would normally. So I've got 5 there, so I might just add the embossing powder to those 5. Funny story, Jodie came over and crafted yesterday, and she wanted something heat embossed, and she doesn't like heat embossing. So I'm telling you off, Jodie, because you've got to get on the heat embossing trend. So I was heat embossing for Jodie yesterday, because if you attend one of my in-person classes, you will know that I love to heat emboss and I love to tie bows, and they're things that I think the class girls were like, oh no, not again. But that's what you get with Kayla. Hello Sue, how are you? I hope you're well as well. I am going along okay. Right, so we will tip that off, and then we're ready to heat emboss. So I've got powdery fingers now. I'm going to get the heat gun. Now I do apologise because my heat gun is off to the side, so you may not be able to see. I don't know if you can see it a little bit in the video. You might be able to. Sometimes it's not quite long enough to reach, so if you can't see it, I do apologise. I just like to let it heat up for a few seconds because I find that that works best, because you don't want to overheat and sort of burn the cardstock either. So you want it to be an alright heat when you start. So I'll try and get as much in as I can. So you just want to turn that embossing powder just so it melts and you get a nice even image. So there's our sentiment done, and now I'll do the basket. The basket, these do not have dies, so yes, it does require some fussy cutting, but I will talk about the fussy cutting in just a moment, as I did on my Monday video. Hey Michelle, oh, you don't like doing it, but you will if you have to. Oh, thanks Carolyn. Need to have a chat to you, Carolyn. Kaz, watching from the mitten state. Right, so there's our basket done, and then I will heat emboss my flowers on the watercolour paper. Just note that the watercolour paper, if you're heating from underneath, which you probably will be able to see I'm doing, as this is a thicker paper, it will take a bit longer. The reason I like heat embossing from underneath is because I find that sometimes when you heat from the top, it will blow a bit of the powder away, and I prefer the gentle heat from underneath. But you can, I mean, it's not going to matter. You can heat from on the top as well, or you can do both, and sometimes I do that. So especially with a thicker cardstock like this, it might be actually a benefit just to quickly burst some heat over the top as well. So as you can see, this one, because I'm watercolouring on watercolour paper, is taking a lot longer. That's alright, Adele, I'm here. And there'll be a replay as well. So you just want to make sure it's nicely heat embossed and that there's no bits that aren't melted. You could equally do this section of the card if you wanted in just Whisper White paper. Use a StazOn ink if you want to watercolour. You don't have to do heat embossing and do what I'm doing. So you could do your thick Whisper White or shimmery white and use a StazOn ink if you're going to add water. Or if you want to colour with Stampin' Blends, that is perfectly okay too. You'll just need a thick Whisper White paper, and you'll need to Stampin' Memento ink with our Stampin' Blends, which is what we're going to do here. So what I'm going to do first is probably colour those actually. So I'm going to use our Granny Apple Green Stampin' Blends. So these are our alcohol markers, and I love my Stampin' Blends to bits. So what this does is every colour that we stock in the blends has a dark and a light version. And I generally start with my dark, and then I'll add little bits of my dark and then go back in with my light to finish off. So just going to add a little bit of dark here and there, and then I'm going to go in with my light marker and blend it out. So you're going to get a nice toned effect, and because they're alcohol markers, they begin to blend. Now it's really important though that when you are going to colour with these markers that you use your Memento ink. So this is our dye ink, and because these are alcohol, if you use StazOn with these, it's actually going to bleed, because you actually need to use the opposite. So for example, when we're watercolouring, we use StazOn ink because we need an alcohol ink. But when we're using alcohol, we don't need an alcohol ink. We actually need the opposite. So if you just think opposites, and that will help you remember, because yeah, we don't want any mishaps, do we? Although there's never any mistakes in crafting. It's always good to know these things though. So I'm just going to blend out those bits, and I've got my glasses on because my vision has been terrible lately. So I went for a test on my eyes, and apparently my vision's gone really bad. Now I find that I have to craft with glasses on most of the time, especially if I'm fussy cutting. Okay, so now we've got these, which we're going to bring in our fun water painters again. I think this is the right one. No, I might get the smaller one. So these are our water painters. If you didn't see on my Monday video, we sell these in a set of 3 and they're very economical. I think they're less than $20 for the pack of 3. And I just got ink all over myself. They come in a really big flat tip, which is really cool and something we haven't had before. Sorry, I hope I'm back. I got a call. I have it on Do Not Disturb, but I'll message them back later. So this is the smallest tip and the one we're going to use today. So these are great. You just fill them with water. They're really handy to have and great for lots of different colouring techniques. So what I'm going to do is grab a couple of ink colours and I'm going to be really messy. So you're going to see me do messy watercolour. I'll just pop these ones to the side for a tick. And then maybe pop these to the side. Now, I'm going to have my Granny Apple Green. And then I've got Magenta Madness, which is one of my favourite pinks now. And this is one of our newest colours in the in colour range. So our in colours are colours that we release every year. We get 5 new ones and we say goodbye to 5. So these are our limited colours, limited edition colours, but they're super fun. And they last 2 years, so you get lots of use out of them. So hopefully I'm still seeing comments. Hello, Cassandra. I think you popped back in, didn't you? So I'm just going to wet the stalks of my flowers and I'm going to be really messy. So I'm not going to bother about staying in the lines. I'm literally going to just apply the colour. And because we have heat embossed that, you're still going to be able to see the stalk because it's actually resisting that section. So I'm just going to go in and I'll add some colour to my bottom lot of stalks. And then come back in and add some more colour. And yes, we are going to fussy cut all these out, but I promise that I will keep it as quick as I can. I think Friday's card is a little bit quicker. So there's our stalks done. Now I like to keep a bit of scrap paper. Hello, Sandy. Thanks, Kayleen. I like to keep a bit of scrap paper just to clean off my brush and lightly press so the water comes out. Just clean off my brush a little bit. And then I'm going to do 5 of these flowers in pink and 5 in blue. But what I might do in case some of the stalks are still a little bit wet is I'm actually just going to blast my heat gun over the top because we do not want the colours to run together. This is my heat gun at maximum reach. So you don't have to really fully dry them, just enough that they set. So I'm just going to add some colour over the flowers at the bottom. So this is really quick watercolouring. Now I'm just going to pull some water and then literally add some of my beautiful pink in magenta to my flowers. Love this magenta colour. So I'm just cleaning off my brush to the side. Sorry, doing things without telling you what I'm doing. And then we're going to go back in with the blue. Yeah. Okay, we're going to go back in with the blue. Which is the Coastal Cabana and also one of my favourite colours ever. So I'm just going to mix that in and then continue adding my Coastal Cabana. I like a nice deeper colour. You can actually add more water and wash it out a little bit if you need to, or you can go for a deeper colour and then you can even go back in and add some more colour. It's completely, totally up to you. And then I'm going to clean off my brush again because we're done with our watercolour and otherwise it'll dry and add some blue into it and then I'll go to use it and think, what on the earth is this coming out of my brush? So I'm just going to shut my ink pads because otherwise I'll have a disaster. And while I give that a second to dry, I can start cutting out these pieces. So what I'm going to do is just fussy cut these images here. And while I fussy cut, chat away, because I am here to answer any questions you may have. Because this is probably the longest bit of the video, but I promise that I will try and keep it to quick fussy cutting. So as I said, as always, the biggest tip with fussy cutting is to move the paper, not the scissors. So curve the paper around, trying to keep your scissors in the same spot. And that, I find, gives you a nicer result. I know that a lot of people get worried about fussy cutting and say they're not good at it, but you'll never know unless you practice and try. And I find it therapeutic. People think I'm mad sometimes. Right, so I've got one of those cut out, and then I'm just going to cut out the other two. So I may as well chit chat. So we've got a couple of promotions in October, which I should talk about. And that's our designer series paper sales. So there's lots of different papers on sale, and they're all 15% off. There's lots of amazing papers that Stampin' Up stock, and it's a great time to stock up on those. There's even some Christmas ones in that they have on sale, and they're all beautiful and amazing. So now is a great time to stock up on some of those Christmas papers, even to get your Christmas cards done. The other promotion is we are having a special release next month for customers, but if you want to know what it is and you want to get it early, you can by joining my team. It's called the Curvy Celebrations, and you'll start to probably see that pop up. I've ordered it, so I will share that on my page as soon as I receive it. I'm thinking of hosting a special event for that one, so you'll have to keep your eyes peeled. I will probably do a similar week-long focus on it on my Facebook as well, but I may also do a class, so we'll see how we go, because I have been working on something and I'm thinking about doing some scrapbooking related projects and classes, so I'm hoping I'll be able to share more about that soon. It's just, I need more hours in my day. Who else gets that feeling? We also have some really exciting stuff happening within Stampin' Up, so it's only a month away until our great on-stage event. Oh, Jacqueline, it's true. Emma Goddard, she's one of my Stampin' crushes. She has got it. She's amazing. I was lucky enough to be on the artisan design team with Emma in the year I did artisan, and she is so fabulous. But yes, I do love a good fussy cutting session, always have, and Emma and I share that passion. So I'm just going to cut out the basket, and I wanted to focus on a stamp set, and this one didn't have any dies, and so fussy cutting it was. There's our basket, and then we can do our sentiment. So the sentiment, what I'm going to actually do is go around the curvy letters. Once again, just moving the paper. And I forgot to say also that Monday's card is now on my blog. So I'm just going to cut this bit straight. So I have posted that with a complete supply list, which you'll be able to find on my blog, which is kaylamccready.com. And the video is posted on my YouTube, but I've also linked the video onto my blog as well. So all of that is now on my website to make it easier to access, and I will be posting today's card on my blog hopefully tonight as well. I thought to have it there is easier for you guys to reference. I know, hello Liz. Need 3 days worth of time per day. I know, right? It's so annoying when your to-do list is just bigger than the hours in the day. So I'm just going straight where the words don't necessarily need to be cut around. And then I'm almost at the end. Cutting around the last couple letters. Tell me something you guys would like to see in a video or see me do. and I may just happily oblige. So there's my sentiment, and now we can get started cutting these flowers. I think they're looking pretty dry. So to make it easier, I'm just going to cut those apart. I find it easier to work in small bits. Okie doke. So now we've got 10 flowers to cut, but these are pretty easy, don't worry. So yes, if you're just popping in, these videos are a new regular to my Facebook page, where I'll be going live on Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays. And if you are in Australia, you can earn the make and take packets for these free by placing an order of $30 or more in my store and using the hostess code. All the details are in the video description, and I would love to send them to you for free and see your beautiful cards. And if you spend $50 or more, you get the make and take packets free, as well as my product gift of the month and the Stampin' Society tutorial for October if you order in October. So I always give away the monthly Stampin' Society tutorial with my orders, and then I have a different gift each month which I give away as well. I love all your support through my new journey as being a full-time Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, since I'm no longer working outside of Stampin' Up! I've got a bit more time on my hands, so it's time to focus on creativity and doing what I love and sharing it with others. I have to get used to talking while I'm fussy cutting. I'm so used to it being a silent thing. Trying to make a crafting playlist. You guys will have to give me some song suggestions for my crafting playlist. Maybe I'll put a post up and ask for your song suggestions, and then I'll share the playlist with you all. Does that sound like a plan? Some good music that gets you crafting. I've got peppermint wild orange and lime in my diffuser, essential oil diffuser today, to get me crafting. That's a good up and go, get you motivated, get you creating blend. So that's what's in my diffuser. So I'm almost done with the fussy cutting. How long have I been live? Does it say? 37 minutes. See, I have to allow an hour for my videos because sometimes they can be quick, but sometimes they can be about an hour. So even if I've got everything pre-prepared, unfortunately that's Kayla. These I always fussy cut with my Stampin' Up! Paper snips. I find them the best scissors for intricate work like this. They're just such a good size and such a great sharp blade that they're perfect for work like this. Adaptive is a great blend, Kayleen. I actually gave a bottle of that to my dad to use, and the Adaptive roller blend, I'm sure that's not what it's called, roller bottle, and I just had to reorder some because Adaptive is such a fabulous blend. I think I've even got the capsules somewhere. So if you don't know what Kaylee and I are talking about, we're talking about doTERRA oils. Such beautiful oils, and it's great. I think it's great to have like an essential oil blend on in the background, especially when you're crafting, like to get you in the zone, get your mojo flowing. Okay, so two more to go. Oh, Jacqueline, doTERRA is amazing. What's your favourite oil? Someone's riding a motorbike in what sounds like the school oval over there, because where I am it's school holidays. So, activities and loudness galore. This is the last one, guys, and then we'll get finished putting the card together. I hope you've been enjoying seeing all my fussy cutting. No, I'm just joking. All my card and different things that you can do with these stamp sets. Balance is amazing. Balance is one of my favorites. I just stocked up on that. Sounds like we're all doTERRA lovers. Okay, so I've got all my fussy cutting done. Now, something I am going to cut before I forget. I'm going to have a sip of coffee. These are our square doilies. I lost a piece of ribbon already. I don't know. There's one piece there. I'll find the other one in a minute, or I'll have to cut another one. So these, I put it in the bin. Can you believe that? These are our square doilies, but I actually want one to be circles. So what I'm going to do is just actually cut the doily and cut some pieces off it to make it circle. So sometimes I get a bit too adventurous with the cutting and cut too much off, but that's okay. We can even it up. So I just grab my scissors and go with the flow, cutting bits and bobs off. I think I've cut that one off too though. I didn't, oh well. Okay, so are there any? Nope, that's good. And then I can see little bits that need to be poked out, so I'm just going to use my scissors. Just be careful if you do this with your fingies. I'm just going to use my scissors to pop out those bits. So now we've got that done. So now we can bring back in our card base, and then I'm going to add, where have I put it? Here. I'm going to add my doily. I'm just going to stick him roughly there, and then I'm going to add a little bit more of the Stampin' Seal and place my ribbons. If I'm going to cross them over in two pieces like this, I'll generally cross them over first, and then if I need a bit more sticky to hold the top one on, I'll just add a little bit there. Now, because I can see that they're a little bit long, I'm just going to go in with my scissors after I've stuck them. You could do this before you've stuck them, it's completely up to you. And I'm just going to trim them to where I want them. So once you're happy with how they are and you're all good, then I can actually get creating my basket. Now what I'm going to do with my basket is actually something which you saw me do if you've watched the video on Monday, and that's that I'm going to get a bit of press and seal, which is a great thing to have for things like this. And that I'm going to actually lay out my basket and place all my bits and bobs in it, and then it's a pain when you do that in the sense that you've got to then move all the bits to glue them down. Well, doing it this way means that you don't have to. So I'm just going to arrange all my flowers in my basket. So I just want to, I'm actually holding my basket down with one finger because I don't want them to move too much after I've stuck them in the basket. So I want it to be quite a full basket of flowers. And then after I've got the basket pretty much stuck, I'm then going to stick in some leaves that I have coloured with the Granny Apple Green blends. So I've just got 3 leaves to poke in. And now I'm happy with that arrangement. I'm just going to carefully move my fingers. It's okay if it moves a tiny bit. And then I'm going to grab my press and seal, which I have to remember what the sticky side is, and place my press and seal over the top to actually, you want to give it a really good press to stick that down. And then what I like to do is actually, you can use glue dots, or I can show you an alternative because I showed you the glue dots on Monday. So what I'm going to do now is sort of carefully lift up the stalk, so to speak, and apply some glue to those stalks where they meet each other. So you want to make sure they've got a nice good bit to stick down to, and then I'll add some tear and tape over the top. So you just want to make sure you've got quite a bit of adhesive there, because you don't want these going walkabouts, because the press and seal is kind of holding them in place at the moment, which one came off, but that's okay. Two came off just as I said that. I think that's what they were. Okay. So then I will get some press and, not some press and seal. Alison, you need the press and seal if you need some. I've got some extra here. So now I'm just going to add a couple of strips of the tape, and what this will do is that's going to help keep those stuck down. So then what happens, it will carefully peel this off, because this will tear your paper if you don't do it carefully. So you just want to carefully peel, gently peel that off. That's all stuck down, and see how much easier that was. Like, it's amazing stuff. So now I've got my whole basket there all ready. Now I can add my some more of the dimensionals, which I'm looking for them and realise that yes, I used the whole sheet. So I will grab, I've got some black here. So our black dimensionals are fabulous, one of my faves. So I'm just going to add some dimensionals to my basket. And then I'm going to stick my basket, oh goodness, one came off. I'm going to stick my basket over the top here. And then we've got our fab sentiment, which I'm going to pop on dimensionals also, which the black are perfect for that. And I'm just wondering if the edging will work. So if I cut the edging, yep, the edging should be fine. See, it's got a bit of a thinner edge, but then I probably also want to grab some minis, which I may have to cut in half. That's how tiny I want. So I'll cut, I've got a couple here already cut in half. Because I want this to be nice and 3D. Oopsie. So I'm just going to cut along there. Then I'll take the backings off these doozies. Oh, Andrea, press and seal's amazing. I don't know if you have Costco near you, because I know they stock it. We can't buy it here in Tassie, or we don't have Costco here in Tassie. So I had to order some online. But funny story is, when we went to on stage in New Zealand, they had it at their local grocery stores. So here's us Aussies going and buying out all their, like, it was Woolworths to them, Countdown, I think it was called. We were buying them out of all of their press and seal for all the Aussies back home. So, because it was a lot cheaper. Okay, so now to decorate, we have got some of these fun playing with patterns resin dots. So I'm just going to add 3. I'm a big one for adding in triangles and adding 3 sizes. So I like to add, the biggest one I like to tuck in kind of, and then I'll kind of work in a triangular fashion. So I'll apply the last one, oops, the last one in somewhere within that triangle, so you could join the dots and it would make a triangle. And that's generally how I will embellish. And do you know what? I forgot that I was going to add a flower to the inside. I was going to pull one to the inside, but that's okay. We can go without the flower for this one. So that is today's card, but the difference, the other thing you can do, and what I have done with the cards that I've made, is I have made a matching envelope. So I've also used the DSP, which when I use the envelopes dies, which are the ones that include this beautiful shape here, and I think I can show you actually, because I think I've got them somewhat out. Yep, envelopes dies. So these ones, the code for these are 153531, and they include these fabulous dies here. This is the largest one of these topper things. Not very good description, but I cut my DSP to 6 inches by 3.5, and then I run through on the top edge of the 6-inch side. I run this through, and that gives me the perfect liner for my envelope. So it's a great way to coordinate and have a matching envelope to your card. And then I also stamped a little leaf, which I've coloured in with some Wink of Stella on the outside. So I love to have matching envelopes, and look, when you put this together, it makes a fun little set. you could sell that. Just remember our angel policy with Stampin' Up, if you are going to sell cards made with our products, that they do just need a copyright Stampin' Up on the envelope, which we do have stamp sets that include that copyright Stampin' Up image. I don't know if I've got any, maybe do. I'm wondering if this one has one. No. We do have a couple that are, I think this one might have one. So we have a couple of Stampin' Up stamps that include our copyright image. Yes, this one does. So if you do want to sell the cards, you can definitely sell the cards made with Stampin' Up. You just need to put copyright Stampin' Up. So this Make a Difference stamp is one of our alphabet sets. And as you can see here, it has copyright Stampin' Up. And the really cool thing is it includes all these fun sentiments on it as well, which could definitely be used on lots of different cards. So that's one of our stamps that I'd recommend if you are going to sell our cards. So I hope you enjoyed a look at today's card. And if you haven't already, check back on Monday's video for the card we made on Monday using this fun set here. And don't forget, if you are in Australia and you're interested in these cards, you can earn all 3 make and take packets for free. So that's these 3 packs. Simply place an order of $30 or more in my online store using the host code provided in the video description. And if you spend $50 or more, you're also going to get a pack of the Rainbow Glimmer free, as well as the October Stampin' Society tutorial. So I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I will be back on Friday with another video for you all, which will also be featuring the same stamp set, which is the Walk in the Woods and the Basket of Blooms stamp sets. So I'll be back to share the last card for this week with those, and then back again next week on Monday, Wednesday and Friday. So thanks so much, guys, for watching. I hope you learnt some fun tips today, and as always, thanks for your support. I love, give me some hearts if you enjoyed today's cards or a like, and I would love all your support. As always, I love you guys, and thank you so much for watching. Bye.